is my creator.
It's Mike, right?
Yeah.
And so you grew up here in Estacada?
Yes. So I kind of grew up with the Patterson film, and my parents talked about Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And my mom was they're kind of hippies, and she was into astrology and shit, whatever. We lived in a few haunted houses, and so I was always open-minded about things. I always did my homework, though. I just didn't believe if somebody said something. But I would look at the person, I'd look at how they told the story and what they, how they came across. Because usually people don't make up stuff like this to incriminate. And my story is so bizarre.
Right.
I could make a movie about it. It really.
Keep going.
Anyway.
You could make a movie about it.
Oh, easily. Anyway, it's just like Travis Walton, the loggers, that he got abducted by the spaceship. Loggers don't lie. Okay.
No, I know.
Indians don't lie.
No, yeah.
A lot of the names in Washington State are Bigfoot. There's been so many documented stories, and here's the thing: I'm an odds and percentage guy. So out of 1,000 stories, some of them are true.
Right.
So a lot of people take this stuff to their grave, or before they die, they tell because they don't want to be ridiculed. Me, I don't really give a shit.
And you grew up in Estacada?
Yes. So I used to run around and ride motorcycles, sneak out my bedroom, and I figured if I was ever going to see Bigfoot, it would be up here.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I lived in Portland at the time.
When you actually saw one?
Yeah, it was on Larch Mountain.
Really?
So if you Google Larch Mountain, it's a very weird mountain. But anyway.
What's that near?
Columbia Gorge, the lookout. You go up past that. That's the
really?
mountain right. Well, there's a lookout. There's Mount Hood right there. You can scoop snow off with your ears. It looks like it's just right there, and it tells the elevation. And it tells the elevation of all these mountains. If you look it up, you'll see it's a little pinned-in area, cyclone fence, and this has something to do with the story. So anyway, my dad, I was an abusive stepdad. I was put in a boys' home at 16. Well, I climbed Mount Hood while I was there, and I rock rappelled, and so this plays into the story too. So I know what it takes to hike and do stuff like that. So here I'm living in Portland. I'm 18 years old, grew up in Estacada, never saw a damn thing, but always kind of thought Bigfoot. Well, my buddy was on leave for the military.
Yeah.
And he was at his brother's apartment, and I went and spent the night with him. And he got this wild hair, and he goes, "Hey, let's go up to Larch Mountain, man," because we like the views, and we'd usually, maybe, check things out, right? Well, but we weren't at the time. So we go up there, we drive his little Pinto up to Larch Mountain, and as I go up there, it's not there anymore, but there's a sign that says Estacada Tree Farm, and that means this mountain range, because that's Mount Hood National Forest here. That's all wilderness, clear to the Columbia Gorge. So we get to the lookout. He pulls up, and he goes, "Yeah, there's a lookout." And nowadays you can't see it because there's trees there, but back then you could see this little cycloned area up on this 300 yards away. And I look up there, and there's something standing up there, and I'm like, "The hell?" And it's whatever it is, I can tell it's big. And the cyclone fence comes to here at my hair say. That's how you can tell.
Yeah.
Because a human, if you look at them now, it goes to the top of their head. This was a big one. It was huge. But he's looking out towards Portland, so I really can't see. All I see is it's all black, and it's this big thing.
Whoa.
And I go, "Dude, what's that up there?" And he goes, "Oh my God." He jumps out of the car, and we're standing there. And then this thing turns, and now it's looking at us. You can't make your hair stand up on your arms.
No, yeah.
Anyway,
that's crazy.
This thing turns and looks at us, and it's just
your
standing
hair's
there.
definitely standing up.
And its head molds into its shoulders, and it's this big, black, massive thing stand. Oh wait, you don't even know this. The story gets weird. So anyway, this thing's looking at us, and I'm looking at him, and I'm going, "Are you kidding me? Are we looking at what I go? Are we looking at what I think we're looking at?"
Yeah.
I said, "Dude, let's get out of here." I was ready to go to the Oregonian, tell everybody I know I just saw Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's still standing there looking at us. And it's almost like it's waiting for us to leave. Okay. So I'm sure you've heard of Multnomah Falls.
Oh yeah.
The only other way up there is a 7-mile trail that will take from Multnomah Falls. That trail takes you clear to the top of Larch Mountain. Well, we're in the parking lot. There's no other cars, so there's no one up there. We're there, and here we thought we were going to see this beautiful view. It's all cloudy and creepy and just weird. And this thing is standing there looking. Here's where it gets weird. I wish that's what all that happened. And this is, I swear on my kid's life, swear on a stack of Bibles, it's a true story. So this thing, I think, is waiting for us to leave, and we're not leaving because we're just staring at it because we're mesmerized. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'd give anything for a pair of binoculars right now because all I can just see is this giant silhouette of this massive thing standing there. Here's where it gets weird. Here's where it gets unbelievable. It bends down and picks up a big metallic box, like almost like a stainless steelish kind of. And immediately I started thinking, oh my God, he's up there doing something because this has all these elevations of mountain. This is like a central point. And I'm like, and when he picks it up, I can almost see the hair coming up point on his elbow. And this box is probably huge, but to him, it didn't seem that. He just puts it on his arm and he hikes off behind the tree line. Now we can't see him. He's gone. And I'm saying, I'm going, dude, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Well, my buddy is on leave from the military, so he's military minded. Well, we grew up out here, and there's some other things that had happened while we were out here. Never saw Bigfoot, saw something else. But anyway, he grabs me by the shoulders. He said, listen, no one's going to believe us. We got to find a hair. We got to find a footprint. We have to find something to prove that what we just saw. And I said, you think we're going to, because it's only a quarter-mile trail to get up there. Okay. And then remember, 7 miles from you're in Mount Hood National Forest. You're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I've hiked up there before.
Yeah, and I go, dude, I ain't fucking going up there. Are you out of your mind? And I was scared. I mean, I'm not afraid of too many things, but I was like shaking. I was like, dude, this thing's loose out there, and you want to go hike up there and see it. And so it's like when somebody calls you a puss or whatever. He grabs me, I said, listen, because you're going to regret this the rest of your life if you don't at least make an attempt to do this. I said, jeez. So now I could tell this story another way where I was all fearless. I was quivering behind it, and we're walking through these. And when you get up to Larch, start getting to the lookout, there's these big oak stairs, and they're just creepy as hell. And we're walking up and walking up and walking up, walking up. We come around the corner. Now we're at the lookout, and it's not a very big. And the cyclone fence is like up to here on me. Well, actually, yeah, because if you look like this, it'll shoot over the top of your head at the angle. So yes, the cyclone fence, so you don't fall off, because one side there's 1,000-foot sheer cliff, and the other side kind of breaks off. There's no one. I left my door open on that pin. The pin will look like a matchbox down there. With my door, I can still see the door open, and I'm thinking, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. He goes, dude, we gotta. So we're on our hands and knees on this concrete pad looking for hair. All of a sudden, I hear like either an old growth tree fall or kind of a through the woods, kind of this like,
whoa.
And I'm like, we just stop. What the hell is that? And all of a sudden we hear voices. Can't see, but we can hear them talking. Someone's coming up the trail. And we look at the parking lot, there's no car. And he looks at me and goes, dude, the only other way up here is they must have hiked from Oklahoma Falls or camped out here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's kind of, I said, I backpacked and I climbed out. They would have had to left at 4 or 2 in the morning. But anyway, so we hear these voices. These 2 guys can come around the corner and they block off the entrance. And they stand there just like this. No expression. They're not going, whoo, what a hike. Well, this and that, scratching themselves. They have no trail mix. They have no walking sticks. They have no water. They have nothing that you would need to hike. So these guys just came from somewhere, but they're expressionless. So your brain will always go to logic. The first thing, it'll always logically, what was that? A black bear or whatever. It'll logically try to go. So I'm thinking these guys saw this thing and they're in shock. That's the only thought. Yeah, that's the only thing I could think, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
So we go, hey, and they kind of go like this. And I'm looking at my buddy and I go, did you guys see somebody or pass somebody? He looks over at his friend. He looks back at me and goes, yeah, we passed a lady. And the Twilight Zone theme is starting to maybe play in my head a little bit. Because I'm going, okay. And I go, how tall was she? And he looks over at his buddy and goes, not as tall as my buddy. And I don't even think I was quite 6 foot then. I didn't grow tall. I was like, yeah, about 18 or 19. It was weird, but so I was always kind of short. Anyway, I go, what was she wearing? Looks back at his buddy, looks at me, goes, a big fur coat. And right then, Twilight, my military buddy lost it. He knew we were in trouble. He crawls over the side of the fence that's not the cliff, grabs a handful of rocks and just like throwing them. That way he's got a weapon, because we just stumbled across something we weren't supposed to be involved in. I'm standing in this, now I'm standing in the cyclone area with him. He's on the outside. They walk over to the edge where it's a 1,000-foot cliff. They look over, and for some reason, I kind of skirted him and walked over and looked over too. And I looked at him, and he looked at me and he goes, how far do you think something would go if you threw something kind of heavy off here? You know in the movies, when you see people hold their head like this?
Yeah.
You know why? I know why now. Because you think your head's going to split open. I started shaking, because these guys were threatening to kill us, basically. We stumbled, and I back up, and I'm against the fence, and I'm just like this, and tears are just pouring out of my eyes. And these guys are just watching me have this meltdown. They're just staring. They're still just like looking at us, and they go, see you later. They turned around and walked off.
Whoa.
And that's my story. And that was my experience of seeing Bigfoot. So that told me, because I have a above average IQ. I don't know if I did then or not, but I was a pretty smart guy. But it told me that this is a government cover-up, or they were aliens, and that Bigfoot was doing something up there, an experiment with that box at that high elevation with all the mountain.
Okay.
I believe this is right before Mount St. Helens blew up.
Really?
And Mount St. Helens is one of the plaques that's on there. And I think Adams and Jefferson, and there's, I mean, because all around you look, it'll tell you the elevations of the mountain. And so that told me right there that they were up to something, and they were covering it up because they knew we were going to go probably shoot our mouths off, and they didn't want. I didn't go tell anybody.
Wow.
I didn't tell nobody. And the whole way down, back down from Larch Mountain, me and my buddy didn't even say a word. We were just like this. And I went to tell my mom, my own mother, which is an astrologist and believes in ghosts and played with Ouija boards. And she looked at me like she's like, really? Are you sure? I said, yes, Mom, this happened to me. What, and she just kind of, so, and anybody I've ever told this, because I've told a handful of people, they just kind of look at me and they're like, what?
I believe you.
Listen, I know, but yeah. You know why? Because now you can watch it on TV. They relate aliens and Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And government, and it's all, because
Yeah.
I told my kids that story, and as they got older on the Discovery channels and all this, they relate that.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, I knew it 40 some years ago. I knew it.
Can I ask you a couple questions about that? So,
sure.
First, what year was that?
1980.
1980. Okay. And then tell me
I
more
believe
about
right around 1980, yes.
Okay, tell me more about the two people you saw. What were they wearing?
Casually dressed.
Okay.
I think one had maybe like a little blue windbreaker. They were in hiking clothes. They weren't in hiking boots. They weren't out of breath. They weren't sweat. I know. Climb Mount Hood. Go backpacking for 5 miles with 60 pounds on your back. You're gonna. They didn't have a backpack.
So
they had nothing. They had nothing, and they stood there, motion like they had no.
So your vibe, if you could lean more towards, say, like CIA or alien, which one would you go towards?
I'd split it down the middle, because usually CIA or Men in Black, those guys are pretty cool cucumbers. Because anytime people see a Dogman or a Bigfoot or a crawler or anything, you saw a bear.
Well, have you heard of Henry Franzoni at all?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, I think he's passed now, but he was researching over in the Rainier, Oregon.
Rainier's all these mountain ranges are weird.
Yeah.
There's underground
under
something.
the nuclear site over there. What was that called?
Not Dulce.
Starts with the T. I was just talking about it earlier. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart on that, but it was like a Tron or what's the one where they come through the door with the horse? Trojan. Yeah. He was researching underneath that, and he said the CIA actually kicked him off of that site out there, and that's on Bigfoot Society, and that sounds like a kind of a similar.
Yes, no, my kids came down the mountain up here, up partying and stuff, and next thing you know, there's a black SUV behind them, and it came from nowhere. Mm-hmm. I did buy a motorcycle from a guy once, and it was all camoed, and it was a collector's Honda, because I'm a motorcycle guy. I was like, dude, why'd you camo this out? He goes, dude, rogue FBI agents drop cocaine and cash up in the mountains with a GPS, and they go up there and get it later. So if they do a bust in Colombia and get $8 million and 20 pounds of coke, they only come back with 10 pound and $10 million, and they drop it, and then they send guys up there to get. So he was out looking for these stacks. I was like, dude, and this guy was a totally normal, had a wife and kid. He would be the last person, and I believed him.
Well, and they told Henry that the CIA told him, they go, well, you can't tell anyone about your research and what you know right now. You have to wait, and you'll understand why later. But now all of a sudden they don't care that it's out, like you're saying. It's on TV shows.
A lot of stuff, and because they figure, here's what they always say: it's the best kept secret, because no one believes you. You can go tell everybody all you want, but there are people that do have proof of stuff, and they will threaten you, and they know where you live. Your bank account will be empty. Do you realize how many thousands of stories after I saw Bigfoot, I dove into it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I gotta know, and so I was like you, there was no such thing as podcasts or cell phones or anything, but I really, anything to do with Bigfoot and research and just anything to do with it, I would just study. And now the Patterson film, I used to think that was fake until I've seen them. They've magnified that. They've seen scar tissue on the legs, the muscles flexing under it.
There's some more to that.
It had breasts.
I know.
Who's going to make a suit with breasts on it?
There's like a whole guy that came out recently about that and said that even was like a big cover up. It was real, but they said that
it was. There was a lot more to that.
They said that they took them out. That they found blood at the scene. They had hunters with dogs come in and take them out.
People hunt Bigfoots.
Yeah,
there's an elite group that they will take you.
That's why the film's so short, though, because they said that they took her out. I don't know if that's true, but that's just something recently
They probably
I saw.
They probably did.
1 second. I'm gonna.
This is what gets me.
But yeah, I think according to this one YouTuber I was listening to, they were saying that there's some leaked footage of like them actually taking Patty out. Like
I heard that. Yes.
They used a baby for bait, but it sounds like a remake of Jurassic Park. So I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, they're trying to bring back the dire wolf. Why?
Right.
So they can blame it on that. And packs of wild dogs, no, because Dogman is a big.
I kind of wonder if Dogman and these other ones, if they're actually lab created and they're putting them out there.
Yeah. Well, the Egyptians had pictures of that stuff. I think they've been around, but the government got a hold of it and they did engineer them, so they would send them down. There's so many stories.
I wouldn't be surprised if they even have like parks set up that are, like where
they do. They have places. They have places that you don't. Stuff. But anyway, this is what really gets me. Everybody's like, "Oh, does Bigfoot exist? Where can we finding Bigfoot? This and that.
You can't find them. They'll find you. And
no, I know, but I'll tell you where to go. There's a place in Alaska where there's 2 trees stuffed in the ground upside down.
Upside down, exactly. I know.
That's the gateway. Go ahead, go in there. Nobody goes in there because they know. See, all these people, Bigfoot don't exist, really.
They just found one at the coast that was upside down, put in the ground. I mean, they find them all the time. People go, that's
they had scientists look and just there was no logging equipment marked. There was no net. These trees were stuffed.
You used to do logging, right?
Yes, I still do.
Oh, really? Tell me about that.
I mean, I'm construction, but I still do Anyway.
Yeah, tell me about that. How long were you doing that for?
Years.
Okay.
Yeah, years. And I never saw nothing up in the woods.
Was there anything about that they told you, like, hey, if you see anything, you can't say anything, or anything weird?
No, nobody believed. I do have a story about that, though. We pioneered up a road that hadn't been opened up in years, and we put a railroad car frame across for a bridge.
Yeah.
And there was this little spur road. We had them dead-ended, and nobody had been up there for years. And there were sapling trees broken off like this, unison, all the way up the road. Nowhere else. And my boss thought I was crazy. The guy from Longview Fiber thought they said, oh, those wild turkeys we left must have broken. Well, I had my buddy climb a tree. He couldn't break it. And then they were telling me it was freeze breaks. I was like, really? Then where are the freeze breaks on all the other trees? Why is just this road? So I called the Bigfoot Society. This is probably 30 years ago. And they kind of just blew me off. Next day, I got a phone call because they told their boss. And he's like, no, get your ass up there.
Yeah.
Dude. And they did, and they even said, they go, yeah, this is strange. It looks like something's marking its territory. And he goes, you won't see them there. You go a couple miles out, you might start seeing some sign because they're pretty good about, anyway.
Where was
So,
that location?
Wildcat Mountain is
Oh
over
yeah,
here.
I've got other Wildcat Mountain reports.
Oh no, no. Anyway, I actually saw a wolf up there once when I was logging. It was weird, and it stared at me. I stopped and I looked, and it was staring, and its eyes went right through. When they say wolves got their own, it wasn't a dogman, but it was an actual wolf. But
Can we go back? I want to go back to like when you saw Bigfoot. Did you ever see like eyes or color or height or any details about it that to this day?
No, when I got up there, I guess man, it was a 9 or 10 footer. He was huge. He was a monster. He was because here's the thing that people don't realize too. Just like there's people who got hillbillies, and then you got people that are pretty smart and yuppies.
Yeah.
Bigfoots are the same way. You got ones that work for the government probably or are very smart, and then you got ones that are just out there surviving. They also say that they can go through portals. They come here to feed because we have food, but they go to different dimensions. I've heard that, which that's probably why you don't. But here's what everybody always says: is I can put anybody in their place anytime.
Yeah.
Okay? How come you don't find any bones? I says, really? Go find a cougar skull and come see me.
Right.
Go find a bear skull.
They disintegrate after 30 days.
There's 1,000 down aircraft in Washington State.
Yeah,
and I know
find it.
They don't know where they're at.
And they bury their own. That's
they don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't. When do you find? I've logged. Nobody I know has found skeletons. The only skeletons we ever found was somebody poached an elk or a deer. Yeah. You don't find even dead deer.
And you said you found some hair.
Oh, okay. That's another story. I wait till you're gonna lose your shit. Okay, I've had it tested, and nobody will give me a straight answer about anything. So that's why it tells me it's real. But so the hair, this happened, I've had it for 8-9 years probably. So my kid's buddy, which is supposedly seen Bigfoot, he was up top of Squaw Mountain, 3 canyons over, scouting for his next hunting place. And that's where you go, is where people are. And he came across a bunch of deer skeletons in a big pile.
Deer skeletons?
Yes. Which is, you don't find. And he's like, something's been killing. He thought maybe good. And then he saw this hair laying everywhere. Okay, I've done research on Bigfoot for 40 years. The only hair I've ever seen was strands of it, maybe in a fence. Maybe. That one lady said she used to feed one time. He came to the door. She'd give him garlic and stuff, supposedly. And she grabbed some out of his arm, and he looked at her like, don't you ever do that again, kind of story. Whether that's true, that's what I'm saying. You don't find a bunch of hair. There's clumps of it everywhere.
I seen this one guy sent me a picture of some. I haven't seen yours yet, but he's pretty sure he found some, and it looked like it was about like this long, and it was kind of gray and almost like see-through-y and some like reddish parts to it. But it looked like it was like from the picture about like.
Okay, well, you'll be blown away because I have 2 different hairs. So wow. This is weird having this on film because this is almost incriminating. I mean, you can't. I mean, this is weird.
Well, yeah, and I can't say like where I work at, but I meet a lot of people all the time that tell me, you know, like they go, oh yeah, like I mean, 3 people out of 15 a day that I meet that, you know, there's been a lot of reports, especially, you know, that Redland area, you know how there's like a hunting area over there.
Yeah.
One guy was telling me, he goes, yeah, I was out there hunting a couple years ago, and he goes, I shot a deer, and he looked through his scope, and he thought it was a bear at first, but it was a Bigfoot taking off with the deer. Yeah, and he said he popped off 3 shots, and this guy's just casually telling me this. I'm like, what do you mean? Why are you not like more excited? He goes, yeah, I shot 3 shots off near it. I go, what, at the Bigfoot? He goes, yeah. He goes, I didn't try to shoot it, but I wanted my deer. I shot my deer. Right. He goes, and it dropped it and took off. And his dad was over there hunting with him and stuff. And he goes, yeah, he got his deer. And another guy was telling me like a week later, he goes, different guy. He goes, yeah, I was over off Viola, which is actually not very far from that location. Exactly. I know that very well. And him and his dad, another guy and his dad were driving, and one was just standing right there in the road. And he thought it was just a giant animal at first, like a person, but it was a Bigfoot just standing there. Looking at him, I go, no way.
No, so here's the thing: people don't realize Bigfoots are a lot closer than you think.
A lot. They live. They're like coyotes, like scavengers.
Anyway, me and my ex-girlfriend, we bought a house down here.
Yeah.
In 2000, right across on Lakeshore.
Okay.
Anyway, I was watching a Bigfoot show, and this guy said he took his kids fishing, and I looked in the background, and guess where it was? River Mill Dam.
Yeah.
And he saw 2 young ones swim. Well, that's McIver Park.
Yeah.
That's a sanctuary. They travel. Believe me, they. Where I'm staying now, they come through there.
There's another guy who was telling me he wants to stay, you know, anonymous, but he goes, yeah, when I was a kid, I was hanging out with this old guy in Colton, and he'd invite people over to his house, and I was over there just hanging out as a little kid, and he told me he's feeding the Bigfoot over there in Colton.
No, people
like
do. Yeah, no, serious. No, see, people don't believe. That's what I'm saying. People don't. A lot of these stories you hear are true.
Yeah. And they connect and everything. And a bunch of, Tumula Mountain. One guy was up there.
Yeah, so which was Squaw Mountain the whole time I grew up, but it's just got changed. But anyway, yes,
yeah.
But there's been a lot of sightings.
He's seen one up there poke out behind a tree.
If you look up Estacada and Bigfoot, there's so many people sightings that over the years and years and years and years and years. My mom used to work at the restaurant up here back in the day, and the log truck drivers.
Oh, okay.
One says, there's not, I came around a corner and there's a mom, a dad, and a baby, and they're turning over boulders looking for rodents and stuff.
I heard about that story. Was that her that saw it?
Huh?
I heard about that story, the mom and the dad and the baby that somebody saw here somewhere.
It's like that happened like 50-some years ago.
That's what I heard,
I know. But that guy actually told my mom that she was a waitress.
Do you know Ray Fender at all? He was the one that told me about that.
Kind of sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's a local around here. He was on my first podcast because he saw one down in Eagle Fern Park at the creek over there or whatever. Yeah, at the lake. Huh. Yeah, walked right by him. He said, 5 feet in front of him, could have touched it. He said, didn't pay him any mind, just walked right out in front of him.
Right, and see, that's the thing. Bigfoot's, or your last year worries, the Dogman are the ones. They get your scent. They'll show up at your house. They like to terrorize people and they like to do weird shit. But they're in the government is very protective of them. Bigfoot's.
What are they? What are the Dogmen exactly? Because I've been here.
Werewolf. Well, there's werewolves and Dogmen, but and I didn't get into that until about 8 years ago. I saw a story, this couple, and they told us the story, and it was These Woods Are Haunted, I believe, that old show or something. Anyway. And I could just tell by the way they're telling the story. I was like, oh my God, this really happened.
I'll show you a picture of one. And this guy was doing a film over in Washington. And I'm going to get him on my podcast here soon. But I was trying to free up some data. Anyways, I zoomed in and I cleaned up the picture. And in one picture, it looked like a kind of a rounder, like a Bigfoot kind of face and really broad shoulders. And another instance where you've seen it, it looked like a longer, like Dogman kind of
right, with the ears. But actually, my kid sent me, listen to this. So my kid's a dirt bike freak.
Yeah.
He knows this kid. Doesn't know him very well, but follows him on Instagram or whatever that stuff. But he saw him when he was like 14. Well, the kid's kind of grown up now and has his own, Facebook page, and it's all about dirt and nothing's about cryptids or nothing. They're up in Canada riding dirt bikes up, and they were partying and drinking and hanging out by the trailers at night, and they heard this weird, freakish screams and stuff. So they all went hiking down the road. They got this thing on film running across the road, and my kid sent me a still of it.
Yeah.
And you ought to see this thing. Oh my God, it looks like a cross between a crawler and a Dogman.
This car is pretty cool over here.
Oh, that's a sick ass car. Yes. It is the creepiest thing I've ever. And he's like, Dad, check this.
Well, it sounds like you're in a good space though, where you're not really afraid. You're just excited.
No, I'm a Bigfoot. I'm not really afraid of much. I mean,
me either.
They can sense fear too.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing. If you're not, and I'm sure if a Dogman, there it is. Check this out. Oh my God, this is a still of it. They had a video. The video got erased on here. This is a still of it. This is what these guys saw.
Wow.
Running across the road.
Can I hold it up here and show it?
Look how long that leg. What is that?
That's pretty.
That's crazy. What they said. They go, what is that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Isn't that crazy? That's a real picture from a kid that. Yeah, they had a video of it too, and it ran across the road real fast.
You have to send me that. That's pretty cool.
That is insane.
Wow.
And that looks like it's got kind of dog ears.
And you're thinking that's a Dogman?
Not really sure what it is.
Sure.
See, like crawlers, supposedly the government invented them because they can get into small spots. Because anything our government does has to do with killing people or war or domination.
Right.
And however they can achieve that, if it's drones, cryptids, whatever.
That's what I've wondered. Like,
look up Dogmen in the Vietnam. They used to send them down those.
Really?
Two Dogmen can take out like 400 people in about 15 minutes.
That's what I've often wondered, if they're like a militarized weapon almost.
They're a killing machine.
Like Predator. I just watched that the other day, 1987.
Oh no, that's.
What were they trying to tell us back then? What were they making?
Did you ever see that lady that was hunting the deer stand and saw the Predator type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a bow hunter lady. Yeah. You could just tell she's not lying.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. There's so many different weird things running around that it's not even funny. And like I said, because my dad always told me that his grandpa saw a half man, half dog run across the road upriver here. This back in the 40s or something. I always thought it was case of mistaken identity, that it was Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Well, then the dog, see, because I had a Dogman encounter too when I was younger and didn't realize that's what it was.
What happened?
Because it happened so fast. And with the irony of it, it was still the same guy that I saw Bigfoot with. And that's what makes it so bizarre. But we grew up here. There was a scream that would come out of these woods across from our house. I was in the boys' home at the time, because I got put in the boys' home at 16. I would get to come home on passes, right? Well, my mom and dad were telling me about this scream that would come out of there. It was just really weird, and I downplayed it because I was one of those kind of guys. I don't, like I said,
Yeah.
So I was home on pass. We're all watching TV, and my mom walks by the front door, and I see her stop, and she goes, I think it's out there. Immediately, I run, and my dad, I thought it was weird, my dad, my sister, nobody. I ran out, it's dark out, I ran down to the road, and my mom's standing on the porch, just kind of standing there, and I'm going, okay, where, I go, it's probably some cat or something.
Yeah.
It started out, it just, and it just carried, and then it went into a woman blood-curdling scream, and just high-pitched and the whole time I'm just like sitting down there shaking, and then it 9 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever, and then it came down to a growl. Wow. I ran back in the house. My dad's still sitting in his recliner. I run. I says, Dad, what is that?
Yeah.
And my dad, he just kind of went like this. He goes, a cougar maybe? And I says, that was no cougar. I said, if it was, it had to have lungs this big. And my dad didn't want nothing to do with it.
How old were you?
I was 16 at that time.
So what year was that? Was that around 16?
Well, I was born in 62, so whatever, in the 70s.
Okay.
77.
So was that before the Bigfoot encounter?
78. Yes.
Okay.
So that's the thing is, so we called it the Brower monster because we would just hear this scream, right?
Brower monster?
BR, yeah, because it would, and then so we just brought, that was kind of our joke, and so we always thought we'd run in. We didn't know what it was.
And that was just right up here.
Just right up here.
Really?
And so one night, I think I was on another pass. We're going to a party. Well, we didn't have a car, so we were walking. And back then, we'd walk and ride motorcycles and do whatever. So we're walking down the road. Well, back then, I had long, flowing Farrah Fawcett hair, and the wind was kind of blowing. My hair was still wet from the shower, so I kind of had my head pointed towards the wind, kind of blowing.
Yeah.
And we're walking down the road up on Curran, and that's weird because I've heard the same exact story. Somebody that happened to was in a car, but anyway, all of a sudden, I caught something out of the corner of my eye. And by the time, and it was tall, what too dark thing was, there was about a skip of snow on the ground. So it was kind of light out. You could see.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I look, and there's two big things. I thought they were giant St. Bernards, or I wasn't sure what, or big black panthers. But I only caught them for a second because they had jumped. And I actually went and measured it. It was like over 25 feet. They landed in the middle, and I didn't hear no claws or no sound when they hit the ground. But once they hit the ground, they jumped clear across the other fence and scrambled across this field. And I didn't hear no snow going. They were silent. Well, if you look it up.
This didn't happen to be at like 1 a.m, was it?
No, it was probably like, I don't know, we were heading down to, it was 9:30 at night.
Okay.
Something like that. We weren't stoned or drunk or nothing.
We were heading over. Reports even a year ago, like at 1 a.m, about something that looks just like that, like 3 of them. And they had like a rainbow back. And they stood up and like looked at these kids, like right down here at the lumber yard.
Oh wow!
Last year.
But anyway, but here's what happened though: is we both looked at each other and go, "Did you see that? What the hell was that?" We weren't scared because Dogman supposedly can run like 70 miles. Whatever this was, they were doing about 55. Guess what? It's just down from where that scream would come.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't think anything about it because I didn't know what it was. And his mom, that we told, believed us. And I just remember seeing a big hind leg, kind of, and a long, bushy black tail, and a big, kind of thick mane, but it happened so fast. And these things were blacker than black. And I was like,
wow.
It happened so fast, within seconds. So we weren't afraid. Because now if these things would have stood up and went, rah, or something, well, yeah, I might have been scared. But we don't even know what it was. So how are you going to be afraid? And they're gone. So And at 16, there's only a couple things I had on my mind. I wasn't really worried about these. We were heading down to this. A friend of ours was having a party, so that's where we were all headed, and look for girls and drink beer. And even though we're only about it over the years, because it's hard to believe. But anyway, so that happened to us, and I had no idea what it was, didn't care.
Yeah.
And now years later, I'm like, because I heard the same story. The guy goes, "Yeah, I was driving down the road, caught something out of the corner of my eye. Next thing I know, it's in the middle of the road. And next thing I know, it's out in the field. Next thing I know, it's gone."
Yeah.
And it was running at about 55, 60 miles an hour. And I thought to myself, oh my God, that's the exact same thing that happened to us, except he saw this kind of, I don't know if it was at night, but he had his car lights, could see because he was in a car. We were walking. So that's where we got where we couldn't hear any sound. These things were silent. Well, if you look up Dogman, they don't make any, they're very stealthy. And
that's so crazy.
Just in this short time that I've been looking at Dogman, I've heard way more Dogman stories than Bigfoot stories.
That's what I'm hearing.
They are prevalent. Now the hair I got, I believe it's because of Dogman and Bigfoot getting fights. They try to stay away from each other, and a Bigfoot can win because Bigfoots are very strong. So are Dogmen, but Dogmen have claws like this and teeth, and they're pretty vicious. But Bigfoots are just muscle, and then they're smart, and so sometimes they win, sometimes they don't. But whatever this did, tore the shit out of this Bigfoot. It tore clumps, but then I found some hair that's like human. That's why you're a beautician. You'll just go, it looks like a black person's hair, but it's anyway. There was some follicle on it. I sent it in, and I've sent it in 3 times now, and I keep getting one email from the Bigfoot Society said it was a horse and its rider. So it was telling me it was horse and human. Somebody else, the other dude, I can't think of his name, from California, said, quote, wasting his time. It was cow hair, and it cost him $750 to have it jacked. And so I keep getting and then I just took it to the Bigfoot Society here not too long ago. Oh, we'll get right back to you. Never heard from them.
The research center in Boring?
Yeah. Never heard from them.
Yeah.
In fact, they were kind of downplaying it while I was there because they knew I was serious, and they knew that I was,
Okay.
When you see this, you'll know. Yeah. Now I've taken it to people who hunt grizzly bears. I've taken it to horse people. I've taken it to several different people. Now, I've had it for years. There's been people I've given samples to. Oh, I'm going to have this tested. You think I've ever heard from anybody? No.
I've looked at a lot of different hair though, so I wouldn't mind.
This will be the most compelling hair you've ever seen.
Well, you want to go grab it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait for you.
Okay. Oh. So anyway, this kid was telling my son was telling him, he goes, yeah, my dad saw Bigfoot. He goes, really? He walks out into this bar and he comes back with this big bag of hair. And I got one of my worksheets there. Anyway, so my kid comes over one night, has his bag. He's acting alert, and it's almost like he found a bag of drugs or something. I'm like, dude, what's going on? He goes, Dad, I got some Bigfoot here. I says, no, you don't. I think you do. So anyway, if you want to see the weirdest hair you've ever seen, this is the one I think is Dogman. Put it this way, you get this near a dog. I tried it on a couple of dogs. The Bigfoot hair, they'll lick it, and they know all about it. You pull out some of this hair, they go like this.
Really?
It's the freakiest fucking thing you've ever seen. You'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, it almost is like it's synthetic. Guess what?
It does.
Guess what? Me and my daughter too. I go, give me some of your hair. She's got hair about like yours.
Yeah.
We burn it. Burnt hair smells, right?
Yeah.
Burn this. What's it smell like? Hair.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I'm gonna zoom down here real quick while I look at it.
Yeah, tell me, what's that from? What is that? It's never been cut.
It has like a really organic smell to it, almost.
Does it? I can't even really, but
like almost like when you go to like a farmer's market, like you know how you just smell everything, kinda, like you smell all the.
Yeah, I've looked at it under a microscope, and I've taken it to therapy, and nobody knows what it is. Nobody will tell me, and so I almost don't even want to.
Did you say the ends of it are burnt?
No. I don't know what that. I'm not sure what that is.
This looks like
because I've never anything I've done. I've just taken it off and.
So like the ends here, kind of, they're like white on the top. And I remember like I was losing a lot of hair during like COVID time, and I looked it up and it said sometimes when you have those little white bulbs, it's like it just kind of falls out like due to stress or something. So it almost looks like a lot of it could have fallen out at one point.
But then why would
like
this?
If it's the aging Bigfoot.
Why would this hair be with it? Here's the Bigfoot hair. 2 different hairs. Feel how thick that. Try to pull that apart. You could lift a truck with that.
Yeah, it's definitely really thick. This one definitely.
That's like human.
Yeah, it doesn't look like horse or anything.
No, it's not a horse. That's not horse hair.
No, it looks human to me.
Look how much.
Really
look at this.
Wow.
This is hair they're telling me is, horse and cows or won't even tell me. Have you ever even seen that much? Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, no.
Where'd they find it?
Up on by all those piles of deer skeletons, like something got in a fight.
Well, and what's interesting too is this has different colors to it. Just kind of like when people go, "Oh, I see a Bigfoot," and they were kind of black with like a little bit of like a brown
reddish
tint to it. And reddish tint.
Exactly.
That's really cool. So you think that this one could be more Dogman?
You tell me. Whatever it is, it's human. It's almost human, whatever it is.
No, it really is.
But look how human hair isn't that coarse.
No, it's really not.
But then the lady from Bigfoot Society, when I first was telling about it, she goes, well, there's a Bigfoot they call Slash. And if you know who Slash is from Guns N' Roses, he has the long curly hair of this Bigfoot. It supposedly has this like dreadlock, curly, long hair.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. Oh.
But this looks really similar to that hair from the other video that this guy sent me, and I can send that to you.
So now you want me to tell you.
Like that really looks real to me. I believe you.
I will give you some strands of this.
Well, thank you so much. I really like that one a lot.
Oh, what is it? What is that? That's almost like a human.
Very
human.
Yeah.
And so that way you can have it tested, or you can kind of do some research.
There's a couple guys. There's Sasquatch Theory on YouTube by Miguel.
But see, not a lot of these people are ever going to really tell you the truth. And then there's going to be people knocking at your door. See, that's the thing. I don't want to,
let them knock on my door. So you have this split. Hear me out. You have people that don't believe in Bigfoot, and you have people that do, right? And then now you have the people that do, and they're splitting, and you have the people that go, well, it's scientific, they're a humanoid, right? And then you have the ones that are going, no, there's something more to it.
No, there is something more to it, because the Indians actually had a relationship with them.
Yeah.
My buddy was telling me that this lady could actually talk, because that's weird. My ex-wife,
they can talk.
She actually got this lady that would talk to her horses, and my ex-wife didn't believe in none of this shit.
Yeah.
And now she's all believing this lady can talk to horses and pigs, because they're.
Yeah.
But here's what I always taught my kids. So listen, there's 8 billion people in the world.
Thank you. That's really
You're
cool.
welcome. And there's people that can hold a spoon and bend it with their mind. There's people that can levitate. There's 8 billion of us. Okay. There's people that can do triple flips in the air. There's people that can ride motorcycle. There's people that can do that.
Yeah.
There's people that can talk to. I always told them, when you got that many people, there's going to be a certain amount that actually can do it. And your brain, you don't use any of it. It's very, very powerful. And there's things you can do. And so that's the thing. This lady could talk. And the Bigfoot actually told him, she goes, yeah, we miss the days when we were friends with the Indians and we could kind of coexist. And now they're just, they hunt. There's elaborate societies telepathic. Yes.
I think that I had a dream about one. It was talking to me telepathically, and most people wouldn't believe me, but I'm telling you, as soon as I got into this, I seen it standing there in the Christmas tree fields in my dream, and it was blacker than black. It was actually kind of skinny, and it was like taller than the trees.
Right.
And have you ever seen the movies when they freeze people? They're all frozen in the room, but you can see their eyes still moving and like kind of looking. Right. That's what it was doing in the dream, and it looked really angry, like an angry alien kind of face, and it was like looking at me, and it was like, I know you've been looking for us, and here we are.
Right.
But it wasn't angry at me, but it was like angry in general.
Dreams tell things too, dreams are.
Yeah.
See, now listen. Out of all I go to sleep at night listening to podcasts about Dogman. Do you think I dream about Dog? No, I have other dreams. Do you think I dream about it? No, because I'm not afraid. It doesn't. Because people go, how do you listen? I was like, I can listen to the scariest stories. So
Well, and I had one time, and I was listening to Jeff Meldrum, and he was doing a podcast.
Jeff Meldrum, yes, he's the anthropologist for Washington State. No, yes,
I fell
he didn't believe in Bigfoot either until he started looking at it.
Yeah, and I fell asleep, and I had a dream that the Bigfoot was ripping all my fingers and toes off. And I woke up, and I wonder if that meant it wants me to stop doing my podcast. It was like trying to stop me.
Well, they just want to be left alone.
Yeah,
it would be nice to be actually successful. I'm not afraid of them, so I don't like care. But
yeah. I told him, no, I'm keep going.
Yeah, they. That's the thing. They really don't. Okay, I can't think of his name, but he was an FBI Dermal Ridge FBI specialist on fingerprints.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in Bigfoot, didn't it? And so after he retired or whatever, he goes, if something's leaving a footprint, it's going to leave a dermal ridge. It's going to leave, and then he started finding these footprints with dermal ridges, and there is a footprint they have from California and Washington, 12 years apart, same foot, same scar. Meldrum didn't believe in it either until he started doing his research. And then so that's just like anything. You can doubt all this stuff until you do your research. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
There's something to this.
Are you any good at like reading footprints, by the way? Because I have one I haven't shown anyone yet.
I don't know.
It may be something. I mean, I should have brought it today, but I just.
You got a cast of it?
Yeah. The more I look at it, the more I go, that really looks like something. Because at first it almost looked like the toes, and I could show you when we're done here, like almost were like a arrow shaped or something. Like, so I thought, oh, maybe that's just a bunch of deer track. But then I got deer track castings, and they're twice the size. But then it has like a shape like a foot to it, and it's not really big, but it's definitely bigger than mine and a lot wider.
Right.
And I'm out in Beaver Creek, so it's out on some property.
Right. Oh no, that's this whole area.
I had to take a machete to get to that, and Cliff actually. Yeah, to get to that area. So I hadn't walked out there for at least a year, right? I mean, And so Cliff actually had a report on his website saying that there was a report down the road from me that a mom and her daughter were going door to door to invite people to church, and they seen a Bigfoot standing there in the bushes. So I know they're out by me. So I just don't know.
I haven't. See, that's weird. I have so many stories. It's almost some of it gets. So my last encounter with Bigfoot was not too long ago. When I moved. I have a big diesel pusher bus, nice old school diesel pusher. Yeah, no, it's sick as hell.
Awesome.
Because me and my girlfriend sold our house down here, and I was going to buy property, get ready to retire.
Yeah.
Well, she walked out after we had already sold the house, and even though she's tried to get back together, but I told her once you leave, you're not coming back. So I've been on my own for almost 7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I had a beautiful physical, huge, just beautiful tip out, but it just piece of shit, it just fall.
Yeah.
I was like, what is? And so I bought this diesel pusher bus. It's badass. So anyway, I moved to my buddy's sister because her husband died on the way out from California. So he says, hey, will you move in on my sister's 7 acres? Because they have no way to take care of this. And so that's what I'm doing. So I moved my bus there. Well, when I moved there, my kid says, oh, Bigfoot Alley. And I didn't think nothing of it. Why would he say that?
Yeah.
It's just right over here. It's just right here. It's like it gets almost where a rocket hit it. It's just right here. But it's down this long driveway. But anyway, well, before I went in there, I weed eated down the driveway, and I got to the spot where I smelled like just rotten garbage and stuff. And I actually stopped the weed eater and thought I was going to find a bag of garbage or something, or skunk cabbage or something. Didn't find none of it. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Didn't think nothing of it. I'm still not thinking nothing of it.
Yeah.
Moved my bus in. I've been here. This has happened probably 2 years ago. I've lived there almost 4 years now. Anyway, I had a girl came over and stayed the night. Anyway, I got up at like 4 a.m, had to take a leak. So I come blowing out of my bus because it's right by the timber. There's a stand of huge, nice, beautiful timber. But as you can see through it, I come blowing out of my bus at 4 o'clock in the morning. Right?
Yeah.
Well, it had rained, but it stopped. So all you can hear is the pattern of the rain going tip, 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 drip. It's that steady pattern, right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking a leak, and all of a sudden I hear, and I kind of, and then I heard, something is, I thought a cougar, or a human, someone sneaking down this hill.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I was like, oh shit. Well, I never go anywhere without a spotlight.
Yeah, me too. I got my spotlights. I love them.
That's it. Well, you can protect yourself.
Airplanes.
If somebody comes at you, just hit them.
Every night I go out before I let the dog out.
Yeah,
always look for I'm aiming higher nowadays, though.
Right. So, because Dogman go up trees too. But
yeah.
So, I'm like, somebody's stalking me. So, I get closer to because I walked away from the bus a little ways by the back of my pickup there, and I just go click, and I swear to God, just for a split second, I thought I saw the side silhouette, and it just stepped behind this tree. And I'm like, so I go walk up. I turn the light off. I walk up where that tree was, and I shine it around that tree. I go, hey, let me see some eyes. And then all of a sudden, I'm realizing, what the fuck are you doing? That thing peeks around the corner. You're gonna lose your shit. I was like, oh shit! So I clicked it off. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean want to buy. Because then I started to think, did I just see what I thought I saw? So, wasn't too sure about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, my daughter comes over. I told her, she goes, oh, really, Dad? Let's go up there and see if we can find some evidence.
Yeah.
You know what it was doing?
What?
Instead of stepping on the ivy and stuff, it would stick its foot under it so it wouldn't leave footprints. I was finding footprints under. Then my daughter goes, Dad, there's more evidence. And then she goes, look, these are little footprints. And she stood by this tree and she acted like she was one. She goes, look, you can look right at your bus here. He goes, it was probably a mom and trying to get her babies through there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. And I caught him because they didn't expect, because she goes, yeah, Dad, just figured you were a drunk logger and asleep. They didn't figure you're going to come blowing out your bus door at fucking 4 a.m. because that's when they move when it rains.
Yeah.
Because it had been dry, so they were trying to get with. Anyway,
they're smart.
Check this out. So then we start walking. I find a holly bush, prickly holly bush.
Yeah.
Bent over and sticks interlaid and had it pinned down.
Really?
And I think that maybe she was teaching the young ones, this is what you do. If you go through an area, you do that way you don't get hair caught on it or it sticks you or whatever.
Yeah.
And I took a picture of it and it was on my old phone and the pictures never got transferred. And I haven't been back up there since. And this has already been a couple to see if that holly bush still been it. Because I kind of just left them alone because I didn't want my scent up there. I didn't want them thinking that I was. Now, here's another one. I've always heard they'll imitate owls.
Yeah, everyone's been saying that.
Well, I keep hearing this owl. Ooh, it does the same thing, right? Well, my buddy was coming over, and it was just getting, I think it was damn near dark.
Yeah.
And but I heard a hoo, and then I heard another one go, ooh, answer it back, and then there's 3 owls.
I've had that happen out
Owls my house. Don't do that, okay?
Really?
When my buddy got there, and he was listening to him, he goes, and then all of a sudden it would be up there, but you didn't hear it. I know owls are quiet, really? But he even looked at me and goes, dude, those aren't owls. Because I thought it was actually maybe some dudes poaching, and that was kind of there because you could tell.
Owls don't do that to each other?
I don't think so. 3 big.
I've had them do it out on my property, and I got
it's
out
them
there
talking.
Like,
it's them. I used to do it back home too.
Yeah.
But then now I don't. So when
some of them sounded a little weird. I thought, why is it sounding
different? It's the same sound though. It's goes hoo. It's the same rhythm, and they were talking back and forth. And my buddy even looks at me and goes, dude, those aren't owls. And then I go, dude, I wonder if that's some dudes poaching. That's their.
Yeah.
And then I started doing a little more. It's like, oh my God, Bigfoots imitate owls. So I think that was them talking.
What about coyotes? Because I have a video recording that I can't explain. And so far, it's a bunch of coyotes, and you hear them kind of closer up, and they're like,
right. Then they make.
And then I hear like further away. You can tell it's definitely further away, and you hear this like,
Right.
It sounds like a banshee singing in the background, but I'm like, is that another pack of coyotes? But it was like overpowering, and as soon as that noise came on, you can hear it a little. I had to mess with the audio. The coyotes shut up. And you can still hear a little eep, 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 but then you hear this whoa, and I'm like, what is that? I've never heard that before, and that was just recently. I heard that out in like that Beaver Creek, Wino area.
Wow, that's
so I don't know.
That could be. Yeah, I just saw something on here. This is kind of off the subject a little bit, but not much. But anyway, this dude, he wrote in a story, and he goes, they hunt hogs, right? These wild boars, and they have night scopes. He spent like thousands on this night scope, right? And he goes, he's pinned up against a tree.
Yeah.
and no hogs. He sat there for a couple hours, nothing.
Yeah.
And so, and it's on a podcast, and the two dudes are talking about it, telling the story of this guy, right? And they're kind of showing the images of, something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he moves about 150 yards and has a tree back to him, and all of a sudden, he's glassing, they call it, and he sees something, and he looks, and it's like this naked humanoid thing, right? And he's like, "What the hell is that? Somebody out there with what the hell?"
Yeah.
It went over to where he was before. He sat down, and all of a sudden, he said it zoomed in and was looking. And he goes, "How it could see me?" And it's looking at me, and it's like this. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
And he goes, it goes like this, like it's gonna howl, and it goes, "Help me! I need help!
No way!
Help me!
No way!"
And I've heard these.
This is the second time someone's told me.
I was just like,
where was this? Don't tell me Squaw Mountain.
No. This was somewhere where they were hunting hogs. There's no hogs around here.
Whoa.
Yeah, no.
Whoa.
I've heard other stories too where
there was a guy up on Squaw Mountain
that somebody's like, "I need." It's a girl screaming, going, "I need help! Help me!" And this dude ran and tried to fight, and he never did. And then something weird happened. So him and his buddies, something was later on. His buddy heard it, and he goes, "Dude, that ain't a woman. Don't go. Don't go.
They're trying to lure you in." That's what I keep hearing. Or like you'll hear like a baby crying, and it's not really a baby crying.
Baby crying too, yeah.
But I had another guy. He told me he was up here on Squaw Mountain, Tumala, and they were up there, and the snow was like high. It was, and you would have seen the area he's talking about. You would have seen tracks going in there, and his buddies come running up to him when he's out there collecting wood. And he's like, "What's up? What's wrong?" He's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And they go, "We kept hearing you yelling to help." No, that wasn't me. So they go back over to where the two guys were, and he could hear it too. So they responded like, "What's up?" And then it just shut up.
And it would move around too. They'll sometimes move around where it's like it wasn't where you thought it was.
And he saw a UFO, and he took a picture of it. I seen it. You could totally tell it wasn't in sync with it. And he sent it to, I forget which website it was, but it was like the UFO report thing, and I think they even said it was real. Yeah, it was crazy. I go, that's the second help me report. I keep telling everyone about this.
They're baiting. And this guy saw this with this, and he goes, he doesn't even go hunting anymore. No, it freaked him. See, some of these people have these experiences. They're like, "I'm done."
We've heard about the hunters they found like dismembered.
Oh, there's been a lot of people. Yeah, no, a lot of those are.
Or the missing 411.
Dogman. Yeah. Oh no, Dave Politis is all over that.
And then there's another guy up here. Like he just went missing a couple of years ago. This girl was telling me about. I didn't even hear about it up here in Colton. They just found his truck, and he was up there looking for deer sheds, and he just never came back. And he was really well versed in these woods.
See, and
they still haven't found him.
Right. There's another guy that tried to cut cross country. They never found either. But
oh really?
Now I do believe there are holes and stuff you can fall in, and they'll never find you. But there's places you can go, you'll just disappear. They come out of and there's things that live under.
Oh yeah.
The military has so many underground bases. It's not even funny. So that's the thing. That's what people don't realize, that you can get taken anytime. The woods are a dangerous place. They can be. And I'm
I'm good.
I'm
better.
I don't. I've been in the woods my whole life, but I've never really. That's the thing. It's never really occurred to me that how you could just disappear.
Well, that's why they're not telling I've heard they're paying families off because they don't want people to be afraid of the national parks. Because that's
why they started the national parks, to hide a lot of these. Yeah. See, people don't realize there's a lot of things you learn. They're like, oh, that's why just like the perfect example. When I was a little kid, my mom had me when she was 15, so I grew up with her and her friends. But her best friend lived next door.
Yeah.
Anyway, their parents had a basement, and they always told me, "There's bears down this basement. Don't go down there." Well, come to find out, I believed it for the long time. Well, it was because they didn't want me falling down the stairs and getting killed. They didn't want me in the basement. So they told me there was bears there. So you come to find out there's a reason for things. They would tell you stuff. Right. And a lot of this stuff you find, oh, that's why they did that, or this is why they're trying to incorporate wolves back in, so they can blame everything on a wolf pack did it.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Because just not too long ago in Meeker County, a bunch of cows were getting shit. It was on the news. I mean, this is stuff you can look up. And
some deer too. I'll send you some pictures of some deer guys sent me about. Like, it was just cleaned out. It doesn't make sense. No animal.
No, they make a mess. Intestines and shit hanging in trees and stuff.
Found a bear up here ripped in half. The head ripped off. The arms ripped off. And this guy is like
over
6 foot tall.
Nothing rips a bear off.
And it was freshly bleeding. So they go like, we're getting out of here.
No. What rips a bear's head off? Nothing.
Somebody told me, well, no, the bear could have done that. What would have ripped a bear in half?
No, you can't rip. People don't realize how. No. So here's one.
These are hunters that are scared now.
No, there's a lot of people don't want to go hunting again.
Yeah.
But anyway, I know one of them. He's a young kid. He's
really?
His dad's a police officer. I don't know his dad, but he was related to the guy I work with. It was through marriage. He was going to marry one of the daughters. Good looking, strapping kid, but kind of a four-eyed, kind of goofy, but funny, but smart, real intellectual. He was going to be a firefighter, right? And he doesn't smoke. He doesn't. I think he might drink a little bit. He's just one of those good, wholesome, just good kids, right?
Yeah.
And he seemed like the kind of guy that'd make fun of you if you told him a story, right? So he was working with me one day.
Yeah.
And he actually goes, Mike, I'll put money on you on the equipment rodeo, because we had an equipment rodeo at work, and I smoked everybody. But anyway, he goes, my money's on you, because I took this lid and set it and stuff. But we would work together, and we kind of got to be pretty good friends. Anyway, he goes, one day he goes, hey, Mike, you have to tell me about your Bigfoot story. And I go, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. And he pops up and goes, oh yeah, I saw a Wendigo. And I looked at him.
What's that one again?
It's got like the deer head, weird. Yeah.
Really?
And I looked at him and go, how do you know about a Wendigo? How do you even know about a Wendigo?
Yeah.
He goes, dude, I saw one.
He went home to look it up.
I go, what? He goes, no, dude, we were hunting. He goes, I was off by my, and then I tell you, this kid's just a straight kid. And he, look, there, I'm just going, because he brings up wind. I'm like, what? How do you know about Wendigos? And, and he goes, no, dude. I goes, damn. He goes, I was hunting, and he goes, I was out. I took off by myself. I think this. I don't know if this is his story or anyway. All he knows is he came around the corner and he saw these deer antlers like up in this tree.
Yeah.
Well, he thought it was on a hillside, and a deer was like maybe rubbing his antler or something.
Yeah.
So he crept around and got closer. It wasn't a hill. It was there. This whatever this thing was, and he said, "Dude, I caught Glenn." And he goes, "Dude, I turned around, and got the fuck out of there." He goes, "I don't even go hunting anymore."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Dude, that's almost creepier than my story."
Yeah.
And another guy at work I used to work with, married, got kids, older guy, kind of heavyset guy, grew up in Washington.
Yeah.
Lives in Washington now. And he goes, and we were sitting on the hoe. Or he was sitting on the hoe and I was standing on the track one day and we were bullshitting about something and somehow he goes, so you seen Bigfoot or something? And I go, yeah. And he goes, I got a Bigfoot story. And I go, really? He goes, yeah, it's kind of unbelievable. I says, well, it's probably not more unbelievable than mine. He goes, and when he told the story, you could just tell his whole demeanor. He was just going back in time. He goes, yeah, we were younger and we were in my buddy's Toyota 4x and we were way up. There's 8 caves where I used to go race motorcycles up the road. 8 caves. Why do they call them 8 caves?
Why do they call them 8 caves? Exactly.
So anyway, but he was, God, where was he? But anyway, they're up some logging road.
Yeah.
And they came up into this unit. And he goes, dude, the snow was this deep. My buddy's got pretty big tires on his Toyota. And there's no tracks. We're the only ones up there in the middle of nowhere. He goes, we're rallying up there, And we get up to this unit. And they look out in the unit, and there's this thing dressed in black, or whatever, this big black. And he says, dude, it couldn't have been a human. The snow was this deep. And if you've ever had to, being a logger, go through brush, well, you had to take a machete and you're not just traipsing through, they've logged either. There's deep holes in it.
One blackberry bush, you're out.
So here's where the story gets weird. Because the look on his face, too, and you could tell he was just puzzled by it. He goes, it had an orange hunter's cap on it. And I said, what? And when he was telling, he's just kind of staring out the window of the truck. You could tell he was just kind of reliving it. He goes, and he was just pondering. But he goes, no, it had an orange. He goes, it was all black. You could tell it was huge, and it was moving pretty good across this unit. He goes, I know no human can. And he goes, but it had an orange hunter's cap on. And I went, oh, I know. And he goes, he didn't want you shooting at it. I go, Bigfoots are smart. He probably found that cap somewhere and just carried it with him or whatever, and or something.
My thought on that, he killed the hunter and
he killed the hunter, took his hat.
He's like, why did
I never thought of that, but he goes, it had an orange.
That was my first.
It was like an orange stocking.
His prize.
And I go.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
He did that because he didn't know who you guys were. He figured you start blazing rifle or shooting at him.
Yeah.
So he put an orange hunt, and then that way, because the Some of them are smart.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of them are very, and then some of them are. I don't think really.
Well, they're like a human, so you're gonna get different colors, different sizes, different intelligence.
Well, we were talking about dreams earlier.
Yeah.
And so that anyway, to get back, because we were talking about dreams, I said I don't have dreams, but I have had a couple of dreams over the years because it's been 45 years ago.
Yeah,
I saw Bigfoot, and but the dream I had once is we were in my this vehicle. It was with one of my old buddies and his girlfriend that he had a long time ago. And they're not even. I don't even think he's still alive. But we're in this international travel all, and I'm sitting in the back seat, and we're going down this road, and a Bigfoot crosses the road in front of us, which didn't really. But when I looked between, because I was sitting in the back seat, when I looked through the windshield and looked at him, and he turned and looked at me, all of a sudden his face went like this. To where I could see.
Like he zoomed up and...
Yeah, he just zoomed. I just zoomed it just right in, and I could see what he looked like. And I was just like, it's one of those dreams you wake up and you're just like, oh shit, what happened? I'm like, you just kind of like feel weird, So, whoops, I forgot this. Anyway. But anyway, I thought that was pretty bizarre, that a dream like that. But it's very seldom do I have any, and I think the other ones I ever had, I don't think I even remember, but that one stuck out to me. And I think it was letting me know, this is what I look like up close.
Sometimes they just really
stand
out for a reason.
Yeah, it let
visited
me
know,
you. It let me know what it
you always probably wondered what that looked like, that one you saw that one time.
Yeah, because all I could see, it was just, and I've drew pictures of it, and its head just molded, and it's just this massive black thing standing there. Yeah. It wasn't a person. But when it picked up that box, that told me. Now, I just saw a story not too long ago. A park ranger found a big metallic box out in the woods.
No way.
It's the first one I've ever heard of.
How big was this box?
It was like 6 foot by 4 foot or something.
Was it black?
No, it was like a shiny metallic box. It's the only story I've ever heard about one. It was just sitting there, and he walked up to it. And from his schooling and stuff, he goes, it had this gauge on it. And from the best I could tell, it says 200 degrees minus Celsius, or wherever. Yeah. And he goes, that's why can't I think of the word? I want to say crypto, chronic.
Cryptology?
No, where they deep freeze you to keep you, where it's so cold that you can, cryogenics.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh my God, this is like a what? Is this even real?
Yeah.
So he went back and told his boss.
Yeah.
And his boss says, don't you ever F with one of those. If you ever find one, just pretend you never saw it.
I'd love to see that report.
And he goes, I don't know where it came. He goes, I don't know where it's, but we were told to see a lot of those park rangers have a lot of stories. Yeah, the one there's some of these stories, if you listen to, you just be freaked out.
Where'd you hear that one at?
It was just on some of my podcasts.
Oh, okay, yeah. Interesting. If you come across it, send it to me.
It's it would I was just like, oh my God.
And they found that one up where you were at, or another area.
What's that?
The box that the ranger found.
No, I don't even know where that was. It was maybe in Yosemite or somewhere. Yeah. Okay. But all those parks have a weird. Yeah. There's park rangers that have that. I've also heard a story of park rangers seeing a Wendigo too, down in Creek. I've heard, there's the story. Well, just think how many people there are, and if you're out enough, it just cracks me up. Like when people go to a cemetery, oh my God, that was haunted. There's a ghost there. It's like, yeah, no shit, you're at the cemetery.
Right.
You're bound to see something. Hello.
Right.
It's like, it's like, duh, so people, they kind of be careful what you wish for and look for.
Exactly.
Because on stuff like that, now a person could do research, but and that's the thing, when you go looking for Bigfoot's probably never going to see it.
Exactly.
It's when you least likely expect it.
Yep.
There it is, and then you're just. And that's what I've always told through my girlfriends and few people that listen. I said, listen, if you at least are open minded to it, that way if you do see it, it doesn't totally blow your whole mind and you're in an insane asylum. You know what I mean?
I'm always looking in the Christmas trees as I drive home because there's a few spots like right before Tucker Road that looks just like identical to the
Tucker,
dream.
yeah,
and
yeah,
up
yeah,
on Upper
yeah.
Highland when you start turning on Upper Highland.
You're up there. Oh yeah, you're in. Yeah, no.
And that's like exactly where the
Hillock
dream
Burn. You're not too far from there.
Yeah. And I'm like, that looks like the dream. So maybe I'm supposed to just look over. And I've come to terms. I've said I'm not going to film a Bigfoot. If they want me to see him, I'm okay with that. If they want me to see, because I have my dash cam all the time. But there was one time, it was last winter, and I wasn't even into all this. I wasn't even thinking about Bigfoot, and I'm driving home. There's no cars in front of me, no cars coming. It's dark out. I think it might have been a little bit of windy and rainy. And it just really woke me up and caught me off guard. It was after work, and I was tired, and all of a sudden I heard this loud, like, clunk, like, hit my windshield as I'm driving, and it came off of, like, the hill, like, right after that waterfall down there. And I was like, what the hell hit my car? You know, and I have seen some rock slides over there, but I don't know. It was just really weird. Mm. But then I heard that that's like a really hot area where some people have seen.
Yeah, no, it's neat to listen to stories, and sometimes the estacada will come up on just off the wall pot. I'm like, oh my god,
Bigfoot Society has a lot.
But this one story I was listening to, the guy goes, yeah, we moved to Tigard, Oregon, and which I know. He goes, yeah, me and my wife were going to drive up to Mount Hood with the kids, and we were looking for property because we wanted to get out of Tigard and stuff. And they talked about how they drove up and they're coming back. And they saw this property for sale, but it was down this road. It was just some property. Yeah. And he goes, and it was starting to get a little dark, but we drove up there. And he goes, me and my son had to take a leak. So we pull up there and the wife stayed in the car. And he goes, she's like, they hear something, a big stick all of a sudden comes flying down on the road. And they're like, what? And then he hears his wife scream. She goes, look, and there's something they could see. Yeah. So they jump in their car. And he said he's backing up out of this road. And this thing jumps down the road and is like, pushing them off this property. Yeah. And he goes, we just got the hell out of there. He goes, and that's my story. Needless to say, we didn't buy that property.
Otherwise for sale.
But that's what I'm saying. You know, Mount Hood National Forest is, and they say all these mountains are, I mean, there was one episode of X-Files back in the day that they were flying over, Mount Hood. Hey, Scully, look at Mount Hood. And he goes, yeah, that place said something like it's kind of weird or whatever. Yeah. But Adams, Jefferson, Shasta.
Tabor also. There's a girl that's doing a lot of Tabor reports. She's going in there, and there's a lot of these like really intricate woven like stuff. I'm like,
Mount Tabor?
Yeah, I'm like, there's no way. I know.
That's just a hump. I know. Basically.
I know. You wouldn't think so, but she's in there. Her name's Ashley, I think. She's on the Flash of Beauty. She's got a whole podcast. So she's got a YouTube channel and showing all kinds of stuff. And so I said the same thing. I said Tabor, and I look at the geographical layout and I go, I don't know, but I mean the stuff she's showing, I don't see how any people could have made those because it's like these huge like bed cave things that are like intricately woven with trees.
And stuff. They do some.
Yeah, so I don't
know. Can tell. Well, like when Les Stroud started getting into it, Survivor Man.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. So this tree fell this way, and then this one fell this way, and then this one fell. He goes, the odds of that, and then now how did this one get interlocked with that? And he's going, he's like, this doesn't make sense, because that's the thing. There's been people that are out the woods their whole life and never see anything.
Right.
And then one day you see something.
Right.
Years ago, Town Hall, I don't know if you remember that shit. It was a Portland show, Town Hall. They would talk about it. But anyway, this years ago. But my mom, I haven't talked to my mom in years, but she told me, she goes, hey, there's going to be a town hall meeting about Bigfoot. You got to watch it. It's going to be on Channel 2 News.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I watched it.
Yeah.
And it was all these people sharing their stories.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget this old man sitting there. He's real quiet. He's just sitting there minding his own business. It was his turn. And he goes, okay, this is my story. He goes, I've been hunting and fishing in the woods my whole life, and I've never seen anything. And he goes, I was hunting, and I was looking for a buck. And he goes, I came up to this meadow, and so I was kind of in the brush, and there was a couple doe standing out there. And he goes, I wasn't going to shoot them because I was after a buck, so I was just watching them. And he goes, all of a sudden, this big creature, this big black something, I don't know what it was, a Bigfoot, I guess, came running, chased that doe down, grabbed it, snapped its neck, threw it over its shoulder, and hiked off behind the tree line. And he goes, and that's my story. And he sat back, and when he sat back down, he just put his head back down like that. It fucking ruined him. I mean, he was like 75 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, but he'd been hunting and fishing his whole life, never saw anything. And then he saw that.
But there's been a lot of stories like that. That's crazy with the deer.
They hunt them down.
And they had to throw them under their arm, and like there's a sheriff that's seen one running across the road out here, and one guy,
Come on, people don't realize there was a Bigfoot running down I-5. Like 4 or 5 cops saw it. People saw it.
When?
You I mean, it's I don't know. I don't know how many years ago that was, but it was well documented. They thought it was a person, and cars were swerving all over, and the cops saw it, and it was a Bigfoot. It was like going down the...
That's what I'm saying. If they were in Mount Tabor, they could be running. I mean, because if you look at the map of Mount Tabor, if these things could go a certain amount in a night...
Well, they're stealthy. They don't... Yeah. And, I don't think dogs really...
Especially if they're, like stealing people's food and garbage and stuff. Like
you don't see too many... Like I said, I think a lot of them like to be left alone, and there could be rogue ones too that do stupid shit or kill because they. Well, there's a famous story about the gold miners back in the 30s or whatever it was. And they shot one, and these Bigfoots retaliated, and they drove and they left all their gold supplies and they left everything there, and they said that's unheard of because back then that cost a lot of money, but they fled with their life.
Yeah,
they got out, and it's a famous story. See, a lot of these stories are documented, like the LBL, the people that got murdered in their motorhome in the LBL, Land Between the Lakes. Yes, that was by Dogman. That was a very famous story. You can look it up. It's just
I'll check that
very
out.
Pronounced. It's the creepiest story, and it's weird because years later, a guy came out and says, "No, I was with that family. I hid under the frame of the motorhome and survived, and they never told anybody else that I was there because the whole family got killed."
Oh, wow.
Shredded them. Yeah.
Damn.
And whether that's true or not, but see, fact weirder than fiction.
That's it. I'm moving back to the city right now.
Yeah. No, it just, I mean, that's the thing. If something's going to get you, something's going to get you. But
exactly.
I don't think, I don't know really what provokes. I just know if I saw something, I wouldn't try to kill it. I don't kill anything usually. I don't. I mean, I let life. Yeah. I mean, here's my theorem: you don't have the power to give life.
Right.
You don't have the power to take it.
I would never do it.
So that's the thing. I wouldn't.
I got a squirrel today on the road, and I felt really.
Yeah, I know that's. It's just bad karma. It's just bad karma because everything we do in this life, you will have to answer for.
I know.
And that's what gives people. And a lot of people don't understand that.
I'm really thoughtful about it.
Yeah, they go raping and pillaging and this or we're just ruining this planet. And
I think that's why there's more sightings too, because this is my feeling. I don't know, it could just be out there, but I think with the rise of nuclear and the rise of stuff,
everything. There's
a rise of like.
No, I just saw a thing too. It says, "Why is in 2025 there's so many Dogman sightings all of a sudden?" I know
something's
going on. They're just exploding.
Going on.
Yeah, and so I don't know if
that's just my feeling.
I don't know if they're a part of the plan. I think some of them are government, and some of them are rogue, some of them got away, some of them are chipped. A lot of them are chipped. There's some of them they don't know where they're at, but they always seem to know how to find them when they want them.
Right.
They know.
Or they have
they call them because they'll have a special people come in. And there's special task force that come take this shit out.
Yeah, when there's the bad one.
And
that's what I've heard. I believe that.
Well, in the diamond mines up in Alaska, they hire they're contractors. They're not even military. They're not police. They have assault weapon, and they guard this diamond mine. Well, they've got a call about some dude in distress, and there was some big bear was trying to get into this lady's cabin, and then this and that, and there's only one radio tower to talk to everybody, and this thing was up there smashing trying to get to the guys, and they pulled up on site and saw that, and they ended up killing it.
Wow.
And
I believe it.
But they told what they found when they did, because they were looking at it and trying to, they were messing with it and going in. They explained, because their eyes glow without any light, and they explained how they're designed, where their eyes can illuminate, and they use the technical term for it, I guess. And so you hear stories like that and just send chills down your spine.
Wow.
Because it's just like, oh my God, these things. I wish I could find it. It's on Jeff Nadaldi. I don't listen to him anymore. I listen to Real Adventures.
It's a biker bar.
But Jeff Nadolny, but Real Adventures is what I listen to now. But anyway, there was this guy. He went camping with his pit bull, and he has this thing he can pick up a signal. So he was going to work from his wife and kids did something going on. He goes, I'm just going to get away by myself. Yeah. So he goes to this campground. Well, there was other people there too.
Yeah.
Anyway, a dogman came into his camp, was getting into his barbecue, and he said he could see the silhouette of it. But anyway, this thing came up to the tent, and the neighbors he had been partying with saw it too. But anyway, he let this thing have it. He heard it tripping over shit. It ran into the side of his trailer, got blood off, and then all of a sudden he heard them guys open fire on it, and they ended up killing this thing right there in the campground.
Yeah.
And the park rangers and everybody showed up, and all the people all gathered around that were camping there, and then the dudes in black suit come in SUVs came up, took everybody's phone, erased any video of this. The fire department came up, hosed all the blood off. They cleaned his trailer of all the blood, this and that. And they told him, you drive from here and go home. Don't make any stops. This never fucking happened. You don't ever talk about this again.
Wow.
And because after they killed it, they could hear ones howling because they knew it had got killed, and they were howling across the way there.
Yeah.
It's a very famous story. But when you listen to it and how it's told and portrayed, and some of this stuff you hear, it's like, how can people make this? How can people make this stuff up?
Right.
So yeah, because we're doing the water system for Canby Fairgrounds.
Well, if you want to get on, that's awesome. If you want to get on like a second podcast, like if you come up with, because sometimes you think about stuff at home, like just start writing it down. If you want,
there's all kinds of, because I hear a lot of stories that I know that are true from friends of mine too.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear it.
There's just all this. There's so much information out there if you just look it up.
And there's a couple other big podcasters too, like I said, Sasquatch Theory and Bigfoot Society. I'm friends with both those guys.
Right.
So if you want, I can pass your information on to them. It would be more of a phone call because they're not in Oregon, they're in Iowa and Missouri. Right. But yeah, they'd probably really love to talk to you because like people really do want to hear your story.
See, that's the thing that the Reels, he's always, hey man, if you guys, I'd love to hear your email, because all these people, write in, and they're just ordinary people, and they just say, hey, all of a sudden there was something out in my backyard, and there's been people that this one guy almost hit a dog man, and the next thing you know, it's at his house because they get your scent.
Yeah.
And they love torturing people. They don't necessarily kill people. They will just scare the living shit out of you for something. But I can't think of his name, Barger.
Okay.
He's a truck driver that killed one. It was chasing him in his truck, and he had pulled over to tighten his load. He's going up a steep grade, can't hardly going very fast.
Yeah.
And he looks, and there's this thing. It's running next to a semi truck. So, and it's looking down in the window. No, this is a very famous story. It's kind of like the Patterson family. This is like a famous story, and he's like, oh my God. And he goes, that thing was almost mentally talking